Hello, citizen developers. In lesson number 1, we created a workflow with 3 different steps. As you can see over here, step 1, step 2, step 3, and we went over the basics of this workflow. But we did not create any uh, controls or fields where you can capture data. In this lesson, we will look at how to create these fields in the workflow. There are 3 steps here, and each of these steps has the summary, status, and effort summary. And on top of that, you have this separate title here, which actually has several fields under it. So if I go here, for example, this uh, heading here changes, and again, the fields also change. So let's try to understand how we could do that, right? So let's go back to this process. This process is called employee onboarding training. Let's go to setup. Let's just edit that process and add a few fields, right? So employee onboarding training, right here. Let's edit the steps, right? So now step number 1, if you go here, you recall this part, of course, right? How we set up this before, but we did not add or touch any of these fields here. Say if I want to add a field, right? All you have to do is just click on this button and it adds a field over here. Let us You pick the type of field you want. You could store numbers, names, date, time, week, month, what have you. You also can have radio buttons, select drop down, check boxes, etc. So let's try to add let's see, just add a name, right? So what do you want to call that? So this will be displayed on your UI. Let's call that um, the sample field, uh, or let's say this step is about schedule training, correct? So here I could say, for example, the training is being held in a different venue, right? Let's say location, right? So let's add this location is your new field. I see here I have up to 7 fields here. So let's give it 8. So the field numbering over here starts with 1000, goes up to 1050. We allow up to 50 fields, right? And um, options and mapping, right? There's, say, for example, mapping is going to be used for low code. We will come back to that. But options would be used to define if you have a checkbox or a radio button, you could add those options for that, right? So let's just add this. We'll not do anything else. We'll just add a location over here and save it, right? So now if I start using this process, right, you should see that new text box that you added. So let's go to tasks here. Let's go to create. So let's find our process. So right here, now let's say testing the new field, right? We're just testing it. So I just put something like that. All right. Assign to myself, because if there's a team of different people who are working, who are configured as task performers, it might go to somebody else on the team. So to avoid that, let's just assign to ourselves now for now. Create this, right? So now once you create it, so let's see, it says the tasks are created for all steps, task performers, and are all available in open tasks. So if I go to here to do, right, the tasks, so this is where all of those are shown. Let's try to find it, right? So here it is. So now if I go here, so we are trying to find out, right, the new field we added. Here it is. So location, right? So it works right away as you add and then start using it. Let's try to save something. Employee name. Uh, let's see. I just give something. All right. So the training, date time, start time, maybe let's say some 10 a.m. Let's put a.m. here, and 10 to 11. Let's say 37, 11 a.m. Training title is learn no code. Okay, no code development, right? So we don't have to enter everything because it does not stop you from, if you didn't enter some of the fields right now. We want to keep it easy for users right now, but we could add that eventually if we have to add, let's say, a required field, stuff like that, right? So let's save this one and close it. So I can go back and make sure that it is saved, right? So here, yeah, look at that. So we added this, right? We didn't add the location though. This is a new field, right? So let's add location. I'll just say Moore Park College. I don't know, right? Just say that. Close it. And so the location is Moore Park College. So that's how you add fields. So I just add one field, but you could add many more fields. I said up to 50 fields are allowed. And you could add it to any of the step. And now, generally speaking, workflow systems are, about tasks and who is doing the tasks, and the systems or the workflow engines are integrated into business software. In this case, however, what we have is just not a workflow system. It's a workflow-based business process management system, which means you create a software and you get the workflow, built into that software. So that's what this does. So now you have a workflow-based system or a process, right, that is working. All right, so that's for now. Thank you.